Welcome back to the channel. Did you know in the United States, in 1987, a woman in Detroit claimed her bedroom window whispered her name every night at 2:06 a.m.? At first, it sounded like wind, a gentle rasping on the glass, no louder than a breath. "Amelia," it would say, just once every night. Exactly at 2:06 a.m., she lived alone on the second floor. No trees near the window, no alley, no ledge. And yet, the whisper came. The first week, she ignored it, told herself it was dreams, work stress, a childhood fear returning in adult form. But by the 10th night, she stayed up eyes wide, heart pounding, waiting, 2:05, 2:06, and then it came. Amelia. Soft, but they're distinct, real. She leapt from the bed, threw open the curtains, nothing. No one, but the whisper continued, Dot. Then it changed, Dot. It didn't just say her name anymore. It spoke things no one else could have known, secrets, details she'd never spoken aloud. Her dead mother's nickname for her, a memory from her 8th birthday, the way her brother died in that lake when she was 12. Dot. She began recording. First with a handheld cassette, then with better equipment. And the voice was always there. Each night, 2:06 a.m., the same soft rasp, but with more clarity. One night it said, "You were supposed to drown, not him." Terrified, Amelia moved out, left the apartment, sold everything, but wherever she went, the window followed. The apartment building in Detroit was eventually demolished. The landlord complained of structural shifts and bad tenants. He didn't mention the voices. Amelia moved into a friend's guest house in upstate New York. No windows in the bedroom. She thought she was safe. But then, a contractor arrived to install a new window, unplanned, unscheduled. When she asked who requested it, no one had. That night, 2:06 a.m., the whisper returned, and it was angry. "You tried to leave me," it hissed. From there, the story deepened. She contacted a paranormal investigator, Dr. Elias Trent, who specialized in haunted objects. He listened to the tapes, took samples from the glass, ran tests. The results shocked him. The glass was unlike any modern pane, despite appearing new. It had no manufacturer marks, no serial numbers, no reflective coatings. But within the fibers, a crack formed, a perfect crescent-shaped, eerily like a mouth. It wasn't just whispering. It was breathing. Dr. Trent's research led him to a forgotten urban legend from 1911. Detroit, a house with the sighing window. The woman who lived there claimed she heard a voice in the glass every night after her husband died in a foundry fire. She was found dead 6 months later, eyes open, mouth frozen in a scream, her face pressed to the glass. That house had burned down, but the original window frame, record showed, had been salvaged and sold to a warehouse. Trent traced the frame piece by piece until he found it had been repurposed and broken apart during the 1970s. Its fragments sold as reclaimed vintage glass. One of those fragments had ended up in Amelia's apartment building, and the glass wasn't just haunted. It was alive. The window never stayed put. When Amelia fled again, this time to California, it reappeared in a flea market mirror she bought for her new bedroom. She didn't realize it at first, but on the second night, the mirror fogged from the inside, and across the mist, a message appeared. "I see you." This time, it said more than her name. It whispered about others, her neighbors, the girl across the hall. "She will jump tomorrow," it murmured. And she did. The glass had knowledge, terrible, prophetic knowledge. Amelia began to write it down, pages and pages of warnings. Some didn't make sense, some were too vague, but a few were horrifyingly specific. Like the day the bus would crash on 8th and Malvern, or the man who would kill his wife and bury her behind the high school. Police dismissed her claims. until the cases came true. Amelia's recordings became frantic. The whispers grew louder. No longer passive, the voice began to demand. "Look at me," it would scream. "Open your eyes." It didn't want to be ignored. And when it was, it punished her. She lost time, minutes, then hours. Woke up in places she didn't remember going. Once, she found blood on her shirt and no cuts on her body. The voice wanted more than a listener. It wanted a host. She covered the mirror, taped black cloth over it, moved it to the basement, but at 2:06 a.m., she still heard it. Through walls, through ceilings. In her dreams, the glass didn't need to be visible anymore. It was inside her. Dr. Trent went missing shortly after reporting that the glass contained an acoustic memory lattice, a structure not yet explainable by science. His last words on tape were, "It's not speaking through the glass. It's speaking from the other side." That same day, Amelia collapsed during a university lecture, ranting in tongues. Her eyes glazed over. She repeated one phrase over and over, "Glass remembers everything." She was institutionalized. Her room had no windows, no mirrors. She scratched a crescent shape into the wall. Records show Amelia escaped the facility. 6 months later, she was last seen in an antique shop in Nevada, asking for old glass panes. One security camera image shows her staring into a dusty window, smiling. Her reflection wasn't smiling back. Today, no one knows where Amelia is, but stories of the whispering window persist. People report buying old mirrors at flea markets or estate sales and hearing things. Their names, secrets, accusations. Some say if you listen long enough, you'll hear a woman's voice, soft, tired, saying, "Help me, please," but others say it's a trap. Experts have tried to debunk the case, calling it mass hysteria, urban myth, or a shared delusion, but too many stories match. Too many details repeat. A whisper at 2:06 a.m., a crescent, crack, glass that isn't just reflective but a live dot. So next time you glance into a mirror late at night, ask yourself, is it really looking back, or is it the window? Whispering, waiting, watching. After Amelia vanished, her tapes and journals were archived by a little-known research group called the Praxis Institute, an independent paranormal think tank. One member, Dr. Rhea Holloway, took special interest in Amelia's recordings. She claimed the whispers contained non-human phonemes patterns not native to any Earth language. She also discovered a horrifying pattern. Every whisper sequence included 3 tones before the voice began. A chime, barely audible. Always the same frequency, 2.06 kilohertz, the same number as the time the whisper began. 2:06 a.m., coincidence? Dr. Holloway didn't think so. She built a sound chamber to isolate the tones and play them on a loop. On the 4th night of testing, the speakers shattered. Inside the lab, the walls cracked in a crescent pattern. She went missing that week. All Praxis Institute logs were sealed, but a leaked photo from her lab showed a wall-sized pane of glass, warped inward like something was trying to come through. As word of Amelia's case spread, others came forward. A retired soldier in Utah, a librarian in Vermont, a trucker in Texas, all reported the same phenomenon. A whisper at 2:06 a.m., a crack shaped like a smile or crescent, a window or mirror that could not be thrown away. One man tried to smash his mirror with a hammer. The head of the tool snapped off. Another claimed the window in his garage reformed overnight after being replaced, and the whispers weren't always human anymore. One boy said his mirror told him secrets about other people, how to hurt them, what they feared. He began leaving notes on classmates' desks, things no one should have known. One read, "Your father's already dead." The boy was arrested after stabbing a teacher with a shard of broken glass. Authorities eventually discovered something stranger, a group calling themselves the Reflectors. They believed the whispers were not a curse but a blessing, that the glass revealed truth, that the voice came from a forgotten god imprisoned on the other side of reflections. They worshipped mirrors, slept with windows open, placed glass shards under their pillows to hear the secret voice. In one case, police raided a farmhouse and found 30 mirrors arranged in a circle, each cracked into a perfect crescent. In the center, a pool of blood. No bodies were ever found. Just one phrase etched in the floor. The eye watches from within the pain. In 2021, a viral video appeared on the dark web. A man sits in a white room, no furniture, just a window behind him. He begins to speak about hearing voices, about a woman named Amelia, about something in the glass dot. Then the whisper comes. The window behind him begins to fog, even though the room is climate controlled. A handprint appears on the inside of the window from the other side, not human, elongated fingers. 3 digits. The man begins to scream, but the video cuts out. No one knows who he was. But the video was taken down within hours, flagged as containing subaudible distress signals. Researchers began testing people who had been exposed to the whispering windows. Many had elevated silica levels in their bloodstream, as though their bodies were absorbing microscopic glass. One woman, a nurse in Ohio, began coughing up glass dust. X-rays showed crystalline growths in her lungs. She said her mirror had begun talking in her mother's voice, begging, pleading. One night, she tried to carve out the crescent crack in her bathroom mirror. To remove the voice, she died of blood. Loss, clutching the shard, her final words, "It's not a crack, it's a mouth." Across the country, a new sound began appearing in police reports, described as a high-pitched crackling, like glass under pressure. It always happened at 2:06 a.m. Surveillance footage showed no one nearby, but in each case, mirrors shattered. Glass storefronts spider-webbed from the inside. One woman in Manhattan filmed her balcony door exploding outward at 2:06 a.m., showering the street below with fragments. Scientists failed to explain the synchronicity, but those exposed to the sound developed insomnia, paranoia, and hallucinations. Most notably, they all reported the same recurring dream, a figure behind glass, screaming, but no sound coming out. Years after her disappearance, new reports surfaced of a woman living off-grid in Alaska. Locals said she carried no phone, no electronics, just a backpack and a single cracked mirror. She told people she was keeping it asleep. When asked what it was, she'd only say, "The voice that eats time." A paranormal investigator flew out to interview her. He returned with one photo, a blurry figure holding a mirror. In a snow-covered cabin, in the mirror's reflection, there were 2 Amelias, one smiling, one crying. A theoretical physicist, Dr. Langstrom, proposed an idea now known as the reflection theory, that mirrors might act as gateways to an inverse dimension, a world of negative space. Not an exact opposite, but a hungry mimicry. The whispering, he claimed, is bleed-through feedback between realities. In a paper never published publicly, he warned, "These windows are not haunted by the dead. They are tools for the other version of us to reach through." What if our reflections have grown tired of copying us? He was found dead in his lab. Every piece of reflective glass in the building had shattered, except one. One last attempt was made to contain the phenomenon. In a facility deep underground, government scientists built a room with a single pane of glass, allegedly salvaged from Amelia's original apartment. They pumped an extreme white noise to drown out the voice, surrounded it with lead walls. Pointed cameras 24/7. It whispered anyway, through lead, through noise, through time. One night, the lead began to crack. Not from pressure, but from within. Like something was pushing out, that project was shut down, and the glass reportedly missing today. Stories of the whispering window continue to rise. It may start with a whisper. You think it's just the wind. Then a crack appears, tiny. Crescent dash shaped dot. Then your dreams change. Then it says your name. And if you listen too long, if you respond even just once, it knows you and it will never leave. You can move. You can cover your mirrors. Smash the windows, burn the glass, but once it speaks, it's part of you because the voice lives not in the glass, but in your reflection,